Since the early 1960s, aquaculture's contribution to global fish consumption rose from around 5% to almost 50% in 2002. This figure continues to rise as the world's demand for finfish and shellfish increases, and wild catch continues to diminish. In 2014, it is estimated over 70 million tonnes of fish and more than 25 million tonnes of algae were produced in aquaculture systems worldwide. Though intensive aquaculture has grown in popularity because of its reliable yields and strictly controlled environmental conditions, the nature of intensive aquaculture sees the accumulation of food and excrement particles in the environment that foster the spread of infectious disease among the farmed stock. Such diseases can devastate stocks and cause great economic damage, but their reduction and elimination is a challenging prospect. Traditionally, the only logical choice for the aquaculture industry was the use of antibiotic agents such as oxytetracycline administered in feed or bath immersion.
This brief video aims to explore the factors behind antibiotic use in global aquaculture, including the science and inherent risks, and then use those to inform the development of my own sustainability report and reflective thinking.
Antibiotic use in aquaculture has been identified as a source of multi-resistant bacteria and is seen by many as a potential cause for concern in regards to public health. Less so due to consumption than its potential to contribute to multiple resistance in human pathogens via horizontal gene transfer. Some studies have even shown the particular plasmids of the fish pathogen Aeromonas salmonicida that carry resistance to antibiotics like tetracycline have the ability to transfer directly from the from the fish pathogen to the human pathogen Escherichia coli, or E. coli. Antibiotic use contributes to the formation of reserves of resistance genes that can transfer to other bacteria and could eventually reach human pathogenic bacteria. As antibiotics are relatively stable substances and do not metabolize food, residual is often excreted by fish stocks. This joins with unconsumed feed in contaminating the sediments below aquaculture sites. Contaminated sediments have been identified more than a kilometre from sites shifted in ocean currents. This presents the opportunity to impact bacterial populations in the wider natural environment as well as the farm environment. Studies of the impact of these sediments in aquaculture regions in Chile revealed antibacterial resistance frequencies of 32% against tetracycline, 50% against trimethoprim, and 45% against amoxicillin, a broad-spectrum antibiotic widely used to treat human illnesses. Estimates of up to 90% of marine bacteria being resistant to one or more antibiotic agents, and close to 20% having resistance to a minimum of 5 different antibiotics exist. While it is difficult to assess the full extent of the potential impact of multiple resistant bacteria on human pathogens, the consequences of the risk are dire. Increases in treatment failure, infection severity, prolonged illness, hospitalization and complication mortality would be expected. And in 2016, up to 700,000 deaths were attributed to multiple antibiotic-resistant bacteria. This figure is predicted to rise to upwards of 10 million annual deaths by the year 2050, costing trillions to the global economy on top of the significant loss of life. Antibiotic use in aquaculture is largely dependent upon regional legislation and enforcement by various national authorities. Such regulation varies greatly between regions. In Europe, prophylactic antibiotic use was banned in the early 2000s by the European Union Veterinary Medicinal Products Directive, and Norway introduced strict oversight of antibiotic use as well as increased the rate of vaccine usage among its aquaculture farms, subsequently enabling an observable 99% decline in the use of antibiotics from 1987 to 2013. Unfortunately, these trends of restricting or declining antibiotic usage are not entirely reflected in developing nations, where some 90% of global aquaculture production takes place. When I began my research into this topic, I was of the opinion that antibiotic use in aquaculture systems was necessary, and that businesses would only use them if absolutely necessary. After reviewing the information and working on my own sustainability report, my opinion has changed. Much of the antibiotic use in today's global aquaculture is not necessary, and it has the potential to do a great deal more harm than the good of a steady supply of fish.